Alright guys, so we just got a shipment in from Eye-Catching Coral. Now this is probably the smallest order that I've put together yet. Just kind of wanted to bring some new stuff in for the tank. I think I'll have to take a look at the packing list, but I think this is predominantly going to replenish some of the Rickordia that we've been selling through quite a bit. I think I got some more zoanthids. Actually, I don't really even know exactly what I got, but this is my station for dipping corals currently. I got this mixing tray, which is a method that I've used before when you are dipping a large amount of corals. This is definitely the way to go. I'm sure that this plastic is not reef safe, but the corals are only in here for a period of time, and basically it's in there for about the length of time that it takes me to do a complete box. I mix it up a little bit and then rinse it off with some fresh salt water and then put it in the tank, and then we're good to go. So the whole process usually takes, depending on how big the order is, it's taken anywhere from maybe an hour to 2 hours depending on the size of the order. But today, probably one of the smallest orders that I've had, so it's probably going to be pretty quick. Still using Coral RX, even though I'm sold out at the store currently. We've already sold all our Coral RX, and it's not really easy to find. I'm not sure if they're having issues because of COVID or what the deal is, but haven't been able to find any recently. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the box. I'm going to take the tray out, open up the box, float the guys in the system, and I'm probably going to shut these lights off just so we're not cooking any of the corals. We'll float them, and then we will start opening them up. Eye-Catching Coral uses the specimen cups, so for most of the time there's some stuff that they don't use specimen cups on, but that kind of cuts down on a lot of the waste, and I do reuse their packing material, so it's pretty good. But what I'm going to do is take the tray out, take the tray out and spill water on the floor. It's all part of it, and then we'll start unboxing these guys. We'll take a peek at it real quick, and then we'll float them in the system. I try to blockade this drain pump during this time, just because I don't want anything getting in there, and it shouldn't get in there with the cups. We actually might just try floating them and see what happens today. My cleaning wand, very important cleaning tool from the dollar store, but we'll try floating them, see if they interrupt that flow a little bit. If they don't, we'll just leave it be and then get them in there. So first things first, we gotta shut these lights off. It seems to be like every time that the FedEx guy gets here, my lights are just kicking on, so I always have to turn them off. Now, unlike any other vendor, how tight these styrofoam boxes or coolers fit in these cardboard boxes, I have to destroy the box every single time to be able to get these out, because they are in there. I don't exactly remember what I ordered. I ordered late Sunday night, and I scheduled pretty much my deliveries for the week, with the exception of the fish, because I wasn't sure if I was going to be in a place or not to receive any. I think I'm going to be able to do a freshwater order this week, but not saltwater order, which is a bummer. Looks like I bought another trachea. That doesn't sound right. I don't buy tracheas. We got, oh yeah, I bought a bunch of A-cans, that's right. A-can right there. How we doing? Good. When did you start? Did you just start class, like window washer, dude? I'm not sure what that is. It's like a maize brain, maybe? Water's flying around. We got a nice loaded, so I'll take you guys off the tripod so you can kind of see what they do. So they have these boxes that are designed for the specimen box, the specimen containers, and they basically just place them in there. Now you have an option to fill the box, so they'll pick random stuff to throw in there for you. I don't ever check that, so that's probably why I got some stuff laying on its side. Maybe I need to do that going forward, but this is probably the best way that I've seen corals shipped out of all the vendors. So pretty cool. But yeah, I remember now. I ordered some Rhodactis and quite a bit of acans. Oh, you just want to land on your face, all right. Another acan. It's like some type of mushroom. Acan. Another acan. I ordered a lot of acans. I think I ordered like 10 of them. Oh, this is a fox coral. I was actually pretty pumped to get some of these. I think they're in the same family as bubble coral. Not 100% on that. Need to do some more research on these guys, but I've been seeing a lot of them lately. And they look pretty awesome. They're pretty meaty LPS coral. Alright, so I'm going to get the rest of these guys floating, and then we'll come back and take a look at the whole dipping process. Basically, I'm just floating these guys in the tank and letting them warm up or get acclimated to the temperature. So I'm going to go ahead and add my Coral RX now. This is just under 2 gallons, but we're going to go ahead and add enough for 2 gallons and a little bit extra, just because once we get all the water in there from the containers, there'll probably be close to a gallon, 2.5 gallons in there. So this right here is my dipstick. So you just want to make sure that it's evenly dissolved through the water. You don't want any like super hot spots where it's just like a condensed amount of dip, because I've seen that be pretty harsh on corals. So most of these corals are pretty hardy, so I'm not too worried about how they react, but we're gonna go ahead and start getting these guys in here. So usually the way that I go about doing it is I try to grab the most hardy species first, because they're going to be in here a little bit longer than some of the more sensitive species. So basically all the stuff that's in containers today is going to go in first, and then the stuff that's in the bags will go in last, and then we'll dip. We'll wait about 5 to 10 minutes after we're done adding stuff, and then put stuff into the system. I usually have this container. I usually have a cooler with containers underneath the frag system. We're gonna already have one filled. We're gonna be filling up another one, and basically what I'll do is I'll take the container, I will dump all the water and the coral in there, and then I'll throw the container down here and let it air dry. I don't close them back up because I don't want them getting all mildewy or anything like that. So that's basically the process. We're gonna go through, get these corals in here, and then start adding them to the tank. I'm very specific what I do with my hands as well, so I basically will grab the coral from the tank with my right hand, and then I add the coral to the dip with my left, so that I don't have hands in both things. This is a great way to dip a large amount of corals that are on discs. So basically I'm just going to go through, do this, and get all these guys in the dip. So smaller order for sure, but what ended up happening was when I got that trachea, which is absolute fire, by the way. Look at that thing. It's ridiculous. That's just in daylight. I can't even imagine what that's going to look like under the lights. But so, you know, for most of these corals that I put in here, because they're on disc, the water level for 2 gallons and then whatever I added after was fine. But when I put the trachea in there, the water level wasn't enough. You had a little bit sticking up. So what I did was I propped up one end and then made that a little bit deeper. What I like about this is it's made to seesaw back and forth. So when I go to move it, which I'm going to stir it one more time before we bring it over to the other tank. So I think most of these corals, which the exception of those 2 guys, which I'm not sure what they are, and the fox coral, and then the trachea, which I think I bought the trachea for the Waterbox, but the Waterbox isn't ready. If somebody came and the price was right, I probably would sell it, even though that it is phenomenal. But basically what I'm going to do is give it 15 minutes, let it stir, or I'll give it a stir, let it sit for 15 more minutes. But when I move this cart, a lot of times it actually creates this wave motion, so it almost creates like one more like stir before I bring it over to the other side. But what we're going to do is we're going to let this set up for 15 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and fill this jug up. This is my rinse bucket. So usually what I do is I'll grab with my left hand, grab the coral, switch it to my right, put it in the dip, or not the dip, the rinse, put it in the rinse, and then place it into the tank. That's how I'm currently dipping corals. Now this is probably the smallest order that I've gotten in the store yet, but this same process could work at home. If you have a bunch of corals, like let's say you're setting up a tank and it's time to buy some corals, this is in the concrete mixing section at Lowe's. I don't think Home Depot has one, or at least my local Home Depot doesn't have one. But we're going to get some more corals in here. I think we got a little bit more expanding to do in that tank, so eventually some stuff's going to have to move down to the other tank. Let's go check on the clam real quick. It's doing all right. Phenomenal. Just a little guy. He knocked himself over yesterday. He disconnected his foot from the piece of rubble that he was attached to. So I had one of these Brightwell aquatic clam hammocks. Hopefully he gets set up in there. But he did fall over last night. But we'll keep setting him up right until he decides that that's a good spot for him. So, yep. And today, in this bucket right here, we might have some anemones coming in. But we're going to give that about 15 minutes and then we'll start rinsing them and placing them into the frag system. Alright, so I'm taking you guys off the tripod because I just put that trachea. What you have? I just put that trachea in the tank. Oh my word, dude. Oh my word. This coral is unreal. The camera's been doing pretty good with the settings lately. Yeah, not bad. Let me shut the flow off for a second. Alright. Look at this thing. Nah, it's a little washed out. Oh, camera. Dude, it looks like the rainbow. Insane. I need to get some filters. That is by far the craziest colored coral in this tank right now. It's giving the war-painted Scully a run for its money. It literally has greens, blues, purples, reds, pinks, orange, greens, purple, like just unreal. Phenomenal, phenomenal coral. Phenomenal coral. So now I know why this order doesn't have a whole lot to it, because it's pretty expensive stuff. The A cans that I got are grade A. Platies, or the maize brain that I got, are ultra, and then the Synfelli Wilsoni is those other corals. But I got to get these guys in the tank here. So I'm messing around a little too much. What I do at this point is I take the coral, I try to get it as close to where I'm going to be putting it in the tank. I grab it with my left hand, rinse it with my right. What's up, guys? Closing time, and today was a very slow day. Very slow day. Last week, Wednesday was the slowest day of last week. This is the slowest day that I've had since I've opened the doors. Not alarmed. Not alarmed. There's plenty more that I can do. But yeah, slow. So we got all those corals in the tank. They look good. The Wilsoni. Have at it. Those guys looked really rough when I put them in the tank, and they look much better now. They filled out quite a bit, so happy with that. That trach, that rainbow trach that we got, is phenomenal, and the 8 cans looked really rough when I put them in the tank, and they look a lot better now. So we even got one that I would consider ultra, not A, ultra. So definitely some good coral in that bunch. We had some folks, some regulars, come in and talk shop. Let's stop messing with my mustache. You guys probably think I'm picking my nose. We had some regulars come in already and talk shop. We had a gentleman that we had talked to a few times. We talked to him on Facebook. We talked to him in store. He stopped by yesterday. He had some bubble tips that he was looking to trade, and so we did a little wheeling and dealing, and we got some pretty cool bubble tips in the store now. So I spent a better part of the afternoon getting them off the rocks because he had them all attached to rocks. One of them punked me. I tried and I tried. I was actually doing a short because I kind of fell off the train on that, or fell off the wagon on the short, and I literally had him hanging upside down, because that's what you do when you want to get an anemone to come off a rock. Just hang them up upside down, and eventually they'll just kind of loosen their foot and fall off. This guy, the rock was getting dry, and I really didn't want to put him into the system with the rock, because there was some Asterina starfish on the rock that I picked out pretty quick, which I definitely don't want that going into the frag systems or the coral systems. I'm okay with it going into the fish holding systems, because I can get harlequin shrimp, and you can have a little num time, and I don't have to cut up chocolate starfish or anything like that. Chocolate chip starfish, not chocolate starfish. Whoa. But he punked me. He did not want to come off. He was like, nope, I'm good. This is where I sit. So I felt like the safest place that I could put them, I picked off as many of the Asterina starfish as I possibly could off the rock. And obviously, there's never enough picking off the rock that you can do. So I'm sure there's some in there, but it's the Waterbox, which, as you can see, is up and running. So my little fit that I threw yesterday, things ended up working out. So the silicone fixed it, and it is what it is. My hermit crabs are beast mode. We got big hermit crabs here in the water box, and they take out big snails so they can have shells. There's even some bigger shells over there. But I got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Mondo hermit crabs right here, so I'm probably not going to put any hermit crabs, actually 7. Yeah, I got 7 now that I'm counting in the water box to, you know, basically just shred them, because the ones that I got over in the fish holding system are tiny, and these dudes are like, what do you want? Don't mess with me. Look at them, dude. That's a beast mode. This is when I like them the most, though. That isn't even a blue-legged hermit crab. I don't even know what that is. That's something else. It's orange and black. Is that a Halloween? I thought Halloween was like more orange with stripes. But he's crazy. He's a monster. Got a little mess to clean up here, but we got old Mr. Wyoming White hanging out. We're gonna fatten her up with some frozen foods, because she's been very patient with us, waiting for her home to be taken care of the way that it should be taken care of. But she's already spoiled. Little kisses, that's all, just little kisses. And burped up a little air bubble. But very pretty, very, very pretty fish. But we're gonna fatten her up real good. And then just maybe get her a friend. I think that's what we need to do. So as far as the water box goes, we'll give you a little update on that. Still kind of on life support. We still have the polishing pump. I moved it down here because I still wanted to polish that water for me. We haven't put in any carbon yet, and it's a heck of a lot clearer just with running this pump, and I can only imagine what that filter looks like. We also got the glass heater going. I think with the Finex heater that I typically run on, you can see it right there. You can see my mess that I gotta take care of. But the Finex heater that I typically run on this pump I need to rip that case off, because that case blew up, and then it got stuck in the well, this is all dirty, but it got stuck in the Ecotech Vortec. Is that Vortec? No, that's not a Vortec. What is that? It escapes me. Can't remember what the name of the return pump is. I don't know. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what I'm missing. But as far as the plumbings of the water box, we used silicone, and that worked. So we're good to go. And I most definitely lost O-rings when I moved this guy, because I ended up finding one of them. I don't know if I shared that with you guys or not. But yeah, so S1 doing its thing. Sounds a lot better. Just taking it apart and, you know, cleaning it up a little bit had a pretty good effect. I do need to clean the sump up a little bit. It's still a little dirty. This is, I don't know what's going on. That's my reservoir for auto top off, which we got to put a new auto top off on this. We're gonna run the max spec jump lights for a little bit. I'm not hating the color right now. I think it's all right. I just wish it was a little bit more blue, but it's up and running. It's got a scar to tell its story. We did scratch it. You can see it right there. Well, camera shut off on me, but yeah, we have a little scar to tell the tale of the move there, but you know, for the most part, still a decent looking tank. Just looks like it's well used now at this point. I don't know what your deal is. You've already been fed. Yeah, you already been fed, dude. Burping up bubbles. But bubble tip in the water box. We'll see how that goes. So whatever pump that I end up putting in here, I used to run, or I still have, the max spec 330 FX, which is one of my most favorite gyre pumps out there. But maybe we'll figure out something different. I don't know. Maybe we'll get a little MP40 or MP10 for the water box. Not sure, but she's holding the water. She's watertight, so she lives to see another day. We just need a black stand now. So everything's black. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell so you can be notified every time that I upload a video. And if days are slow like today, you're gonna see a whole lot more of me. That's gonna do it. I'll see you tomorrow right here. Peace.